Welcome to Broncos HQ. I'm your host and team reporter, Elisa Hernandez, next to the Hall of Famer, Steve Atwater. It's a short week for the Broncos as they look ahead to Week 17. After a tough loss on Sunday, the Broncos now shift focus to their AFC West rival as they travel to Kansas City to play on Christmas. Steve, with 2 games left, standing at 12-3, how do you see this team bouncing back versus the Chiefs?
Yeah, I think they'll bounce back just fine. I think when you have such a long win streak going, it actually puts a little bit more pressure on you, and you have to think about this extra thing that's not really football, but you got to think about it. I remember back, I think it was the 1998 season, we were 13-0, and we were going in to play the New York Giants in New York, and we ended up losing that game. But after the game, it felt like a little bit of weight was lifted because we weren't trying to go 14-0, 15-0, 16-0. So it felt like some of that weight was lifted. And then we went on to win the Super Bowl. So, hey, hopefully the same thing can happen here. Get some of that good mojo to the team for that.
How good is it for you to shift that focus, especially when you're on a short week? There's not much time to think about it. You kind of just have to flush out the loss and get ready for Kansas City.
Oh, it's definitely good to be able to just get that out of your system, be able to come back and play another game. You don't have time to really think about it or soak over it. I don't think they're soaking over it anyway. Hopefully they know that Broncos country is true. They have their backs, win, lose, or draw, and that they can get focused in on this next opponent, the Kansas City Chiefs, a game which I think we should win, but we still got to play the game. You got to come out there and execute.
Well, talking about executing, let's execute your keys to the game. What are those to ensuring victory on Thursday?
Okay, first off, offensively, we gotta get back to having that consistent run game. We got to get back to the basics, so to speak. R.J. Harvey, he had, 7 rushes for 50 yards, 1 touchdown, averaged over 7 yards a carry, but we didn't quite get it to him enough, in my opinion. And then on the defensive side, I think we got to pressure the quarterback more. We got to definitely do a better job of tackling. ATN got out of a few tackles, and some of the other receivers too. We got to do a good job of making solid wrap-up tackles, and also doing a great job in the red zone. We were the number 1 red zone defense, and I think they went 4 for 5 on us in the red zone this past week. We got to make sure we get back to that number 1 position. But I think that this was just a bump in the road. I don't think it will stop these guys from getting to their final destination.
I think one of the things that this team is also going to focus on is finishing off those drives. We saw a couple of huge plays that happened in the game, which gives you confidence in what this offense can do. But how important is it to really cap those off with 7 points?
Oh, that's extremely important. And now you'll take 3 points instead of 0 points. But, man, when you have the opportunity to get 7, you got to do it. And the penalties have really been holding us back quite a bit as well. We got to make sure that we clean those up. And that's been really a theme every single game. We got to make sure we clean up the penalties, clean up the penalties, clean up the penalties. And you see last week, Jacksonville Jaguars, they only had 2 penalties. And that's what the great teams are disciplined like that. And we got to get to that next level in terms of minimizing the penalties.
Well, those are your keys to the game. And before the team headed out, we caught up with them as they prepare to play on primetime.
They still got, Pro Bowl, All-Pro guys too playing, whether it's Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith. A lot of those receivers are still there playing. Obviously defensively they still got a lot of guys. So, we can't go in there thinking it's going to be a dub, automatically. We got to go in there on the road and being able to go win the game.
The quarterback, you kind of watch the tape from preseason games and the end of last week. And, yeah, he's got a lot of talent, makes really good decisions with the football. And, kind of like I said, they still, all the skill guys are the same. All the guys on the offensive line are still the same. So it's a talented group, so it'll be a challenge, but we're excited for it.
A guy that's mobile enough to get it done. Definitely trying to change the system. It's going to be a little bit more simplified. A guy that can get it done still, because at the end of the day, you're an NFL quarterback. You're expected to be able to get the ball all across the board. So
we just got to be better. We didn't capitalize. We were offensively. We were not very good on third down. We were in the red zone and came away with only 3 points instead of touchdowns 2 or 3 times. I can't remember the exact numbers, but situationally got to be better there, offense, and you can't turn the ball over. And and those things obviously are the glaring things that we've done better and we will do better, and we'll continue to improve on as we go down the road here.
The Broncos are still in control of their own destiny, and if they win the next 2 games, they will clinch the AFC West and the #1 seed in the AFC. A huge advantage as the Broncos head into the playoffs. And with that, we turn to our Hall of Famer, Steve Atwater, so he can reveal his dark horse of the game for Week 17. So, Steve, who is it going to be?
Well, with the Chiefs down to their number 3 quarterback, I'm going to go with Nick Bonito this week. I think this is going to be one of those pin your ears back and just go for the Edge guys. I think they're going to be fired up. I think Nick Bonito will have a multi-sack game this week, and this is a primetime game, and you know Nick Bonito shows up for every primetime game.
Well, that will do it for this week's edition of Broncos HQ. I'm your host and team reporter, Elisa Hernandez, next to the Hall of Famer, Steve Atwater. A reminder that it is wheels up to Kansas City, where the Broncos will play on Christmas night. Kickoff on Thursday is set for 6:15 p.m. Mountain Time. Make sure you comment below, like, and subscribe, and tune in to the game.